All right, here we go. No, wait a minute. What was that? I better get that off. I can't quite seem to get it off. I'm going to spend the whole game trying to get that off.
Again, LeBron says, why not me? Ooh. James throws it away. He's getting all excited for Sunday. Rams Bears. Oh, bad play by LeBron.
This morning, NBA headline, top of the page. Number one story, first in line of the slideshow, is a shameful promotion of LeBron James's shameful night, presented as if it's something worth being proud of. We are going to circle back to the fact that the headline itself is false. LeBron did not have 9 rebounds, and he did not have 10 assists. But like I said, we're going to circle back to that.
This is ridiculous. Oh, LeBron throws it up, and that's going to be
We're going to start with the score. A 25-point blowout. And LeBron, being as predictably disgusting as he always is, the first thing I thought was, I bet this stat padding biatch was in late in the game during a blowout. Ding ding. I bet he had multiple cherry picks. Ding ding. I bet his shot chart is embarrassing.
You're as cold as ice.
Ding ding. I bet he had BS trips to the foul line, getting bailed out by the refs.
Here's LeBron underneath, takes it in very deep.
Helping his total points while not hurting his total field goal attempts. Ding ding.
Am I the only one who sees the offensive foul, the clear out, the contact initiated by LeBron, followed by the flop by LeBron? That should be a technical on LeBron for the flop.
I bet he complained a lot. Ding ding. I bet he complimented himself after the game. Ding ding.
I bet he screamed, "Hey," despite the defender backing out of his way.
LeBron trying to get aggressive. James into the paint. Now will dribble right back out of it. Goes right back in. Looks for that fadeaway jump shot. But up to LeBron underneath.
But this gets worse when more context is added. Jamal Murray was the leading scorer for the entire league the same night. So I decided to look at Jamal's night in more detail. Look at Jamal's shot chart compared to LeBron's. Jamal looks like an actual basketball player with range, with skill, with a bag. And that's just looking at the shot chart. Let's add to this that after reviewing Jamal's night, I found that he had 0 cherry picks. What about the situation in which his points were scored? Was Jamal stat padding late in a blowout game? Quite the contrary. Jamal was getting his points when the pressure was on. This was a tight game all the way to the end. The Lakers game, by contrast, had a beginning of the fourth period score of 104 to 86. What the hell's LeBron doing in the game at all? Why are you going in the game in the fourth period? Especially when we have to hear the same guy make managing injuries excuses whenever he doesn't want to play, but then stays in late in games when he doesn't need to be in the game. LeBron finally came out of the blowout with 3:43 left in the game. The score was 128 to 103. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing behavior. And even worse, this embarrassing behavior is typical and predictable. I knew everything I was going to find before I even went and validated it. This emperor, constantly being complimented for his non-existent clothes, is so full of himself that he doesn't have any sense of when to be ashamed of himself. For example, consider the flail out that he does after cherry picking to get this dunk. It's not just embarrassing because of the cherry pick or that no one challenged him. Let me bring this home for all the excuse-making LeBron defenders out there. If someone cherry picks in a street ball game, then uses the cherry-picked layup to try to act cool, you're going to make fun of that person. Also, the dunk itself was a typically boring LeBron dunk, and all the flair came after the dunk itself. Let me be clear. There's more motion from his body after the dunk, and he is returning to the ground. Strange, weird, unnecessary flailing as he's returning to the ground. It's goofy. And it's not just goofy, but it's also foolish if you don't want to land awkwardly. It's yet another sign that he isn't actually nursing injuries. Someone nursing injuries doesn't set themselves up for an awkward landing. Someone nursing injuries doesn't even try to dunk when it's not necessary to dunk. This is an insecure person needing to feel better about himself and knowing that he has a bunch of brainless fanboys and fangirls in the crowd ready to cheer after his stupid, meaningless, stat-padding, blowout game dunk. I noticed his uncontested dunk at the end of the game. He stared into the crowd. Again, shameful. You weren't challenged, and it's a blowout. You should have taken yourself out of the game. You should have had the decency, the manhood, to take yourself out of the game, even if your coach didn't. Instead, you're still in, shamelessly padding stats, and so disconnected from reality that you're actually proud of these stat padding plays.
LeBron again throws it up. LeBron again throws it up. Atlanta Hawks spinning. LeBron, he can't finish.
Let's get back to this. In order to come up with the numbers that they presented, the NBA had to kind of be pretty lenient with their definitions. Here's an assist credited to LeBron where I think they're pushing it. I know people will argue both directions on that one, but what about this one? That's the one that got him into double figures for assists. Dribble, hezzy, dribble, pump fake, another pump fake. I don't know, man. I don't think that's leading directly to a score. Right here, Marcus Smart controls this rebound. He sees that LeBron wants it and taps it into LeBron's hands, but according to the definition, the person who controls the rebound, even if he taps it to a teammate, gets credit for a rebound. And then, of course, you have these amazing, breathtaking efforts by LeBron. Although that is a rebound, I can't discredit that one, as embarrassing as it is. The previous one, I think, can be discredited. Okay, here comes bonus time. The main gist of the video has been covered, but those of you who can stand my ranting, here's some ranting that I edited out of the original. Thanks for watching.
You see, the anger comes from the bad example that LeBron is setting. I know he didn't have a strong male figure growing up, but as an adult, he also had a very weak father figure in Adam Silver, who allowed LeBron's antics to not only continue unpunished, but to be celebrated. This has led to a brainwashed, embarrassing fan base who don't understand what is worth celebrating and what isn't, when someone should be humble and when someone should be proud. They sit there eagerly waiting for the moment that LeBron asks for praise, and they quickly appease him, apparently oblivious to the fact that they're celebrating stat padding. The NBA knows what I know. How can they not? They know that LeBron's game isn't worth touting. They know what I just told you. They know it was a blowout. They know his points came in a questionable, even embarrassing manner. They know his shot chart is a joke. They know he complained the entire game. And yet, his cowardly performance was chosen as the front and center topic on NBA.com. Did you stop and ask yourself why Jamal Murray didn't have any cherry pick points? Do you think it could be that Denver Nuggets basketball values the defense of all 5 players? Well, why wouldn't all teams? Unless you're a team that has LeBron James and therefore you need to provide an excuse, a false narrative, explaining to everybody that you don't always have to play defense. Not in this case. Not in his case. If somebody broke away for a cherry pick layup in your pickup game, a lot of times you might see something like the person making it unnecessarily difficult, like turning it into a circus shot, and maybe you all laugh it off a little bit together because you know not to take a cherry pick that seriously. And if the guy who cherry picked does take it seriously and showboats, you probably are laughing at him. Because we all know it's not something to take seriously. It's certainly not something to be proud of, unless you're LeBron James. LeBron living in his own little delusional, narcissistic world, James.